Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe Edition. This is currently free for the Game of the Month on PlayStation Network, so I figured this would be the perfect time to play it for the very first time. Yes, that is right. I've never played the Stanley Parable before. I know. Better late than never, right? So strap in, get ready for this first playthrough. The only thing I know about this game is there's a narrator and something about a bucket. Because I remember watching people play this like 6 or 7 years ago, or however long this game came out. So I'm excited to finally be a part of it.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Hell yeah.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year.
Not a bad gig.
And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
So that's it, now we're playing? What if we don't do that? Is this like Far Cry, where if you don't move for 15 minutes, you get a secret ending? I'm probably not going to do that right off the bat. This sounds like a perfect job, getting paid to do basically nothing for 8 hours. Okay, we should leave the office. That's what it told us to do, right?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I doubt it.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Yeah, there's... Okay, nobody here. Where's the meeting room? So if I'm being 100% perfectly honest with you guys, I don't understand the draw of this game. Or at least I didn't when it first came out, which is why I never played it. But until I started playing like a lot of walking simulator games, like the Backrooms games or like Liminal Shift.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
Okay, so here's our first decision. Door on our left. We have no reason not to listen to the narrator at this point, right? Yeah, I never understood the draw of this game, but after playing a lot more games, I kind of do. I kind of see it.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Oh, R.I.P. Franz. Whoever Franz is. Okay, so meeting room is empty. Who moved my desk? Please keep targets off the topics. Get Chris out of the broom closet. Poor Chris. What does it say? Standardized graphs 40 times wide, not cost efficient. Tomorrow, complete today's unfinished agenda items. Write the day's agenda. Reflect. How come Jim's the only one with a name and not a number? I always knew Jim was a kiss ass. Okay, let's just go to his office and find out what the hell is going on.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Oh, we can crouch, we can't jump, we can't do anything. Can we pick anything up?
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
You right. You right.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ooh, fancy. This whole floor is his office? Executive bathroom. I've got the feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. Say, that's a lovely purse. What the what? Sounds like I'm typing, but I'm not. Oops. You can't jump. Thanks. Alright, the game knows. Ooh, and we trophy leveled up. Whatever that means.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number.
What?
2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
No, except you just told me.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
I'm confused. I thought the narrator knew Stanley could hear him. Is that not a thing? Hello? See, like, some of this is vaguely familiar. Like, it's in my brain. I just can't, like, string it all together, if that makes sense. Like, obviously I know we can not listen to the narrator, but
Descending deeper into
I don't think we should do that on our first
Stanley
playthrough.
realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Also, I've heard the show Severance takes, like, heavy inspiration from the Stanley Parable, which I haven't watched yet either. There's just so much
Stanley
media
walked
to
straight
consume.
ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
That just sounds like a bad idea. Yeah, there's just so much media consumed these days. I can't watch everything. Kind of want to go back up. I don't really know what the point of that would be, though. Huh. No, we'll listen to him. We'll listen to him. This might be the shortest playthrough ever. I don't know.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret
Television
did this
screens.
place hold? Stanley
Screens,
thought to
sorry.
himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
He just said it so weird. Probably good that we can't jump. My intrusive thoughts would have absolutely made me jump. Wait.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
Oh my God.
Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place.
Which one am I?
where freedom meant nothing.
427. This guy. Not a soul in sight. Well, that guy's fired. That guy's screen's all fuzzy. I don't know what that means. Call the
This
elevator?
mind control facility.
Hello?
It was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true.
Here.
Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was
Ooh,
this the
how
only
do we get up
reason
there?
he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
You know what's a good movie that's kind of like this?
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
I don't know how to do that yet. There's a movie with Will Ferrell and the guy who I can't believe I can't remember his name, but he can hear a narrator. She's writing a book about somebody, and it turns out to be his life. I think Emma Thompson's in it. What's the guy's name from Meet the Fockers? The dad. Not Robert De Niro's character, but Greg's dad, Ben Stiller's dad. I know he's like a famous actor. Hold on, I gotta look it up. Dustin Hoffman. That's it. And the movie's called Stranger Than Fiction. That's a really good movie. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out, especially if you like this game. What are we doing? How do console disabled? How do we break this stuff? Probably the big door that says faculty power or facility power. Not faculty. Apparently I can't read.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
So we turn it off, right? Did we do it?
Darkness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away.
It can't be that easy.
Even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
This feels like the end of the Truman Show.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Alright, so that was the Stanley Parable. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more content like this. And until next time, don't do anything stupid while I'm gone. No, I'm totally kidding. Can you imagine if I
All
just
of his co-workers were gone.
played the game once and never touched it again?
When Stanley came to
Obviously, we're
a
gonna
set of
go
two open
to the right door.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Sure do.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
How do I get out? How do we get in this room? Can we throw a chair? Hold on, there's an open door. I want to get in there. Now we're just going right off the rails.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments
Told
here
you.
in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I'm worried if I go in there that this will close.
And so he detoured
Yeah,
through the
goddammit.
maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Psych! What's this? See, this is all new to me. Like,
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from
let me
here,
consult the manual.
it's,
Hold on.
Left.
Do we have to? I feel like we do have to.
Oh, no.
Okay.
It's to the right, my mistake.
Well, now I'm intrigued. I wonder if we can run quick enough.
No, not the right.
Buddy.
Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh, dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Insert technical difficulty music.
We went down, right, left, down, left, right.
How did we get so far off
Okay,
track?
Okay, yes.
So quickly.
I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
It feels like it's not, but... Oh, hey.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay.
Close your eyes.
We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
With a snap of our fingers,
All of his co-workers were
we're
gone.
right back to the
What
beginning.
could it mean? When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely
I wasn't-
fresh. Everything should be...
I wasn't
Did
prepared for
something
this.
Change. Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the
I
story.
was fully prepared to go
here
right
just a minute ago.
and just stay
I
right.
know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
All right, sorry about that. Dropped my controller. So where do we go from here? I thought you wrote this, my dude.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely
Everyone knows
was
what you
a
did.
story
They're just
here
holding
before.
back to
Do we
let you
just-
torture
Do we
yourself.
need to restart the game again?
Jesus.
Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this.
So we just go in a
let's give it
circle?
a shot. Why not?
Okay.
All of his co-workers were
Fourth
gone.
time's the charm, I
what
guess.
could it mean?
Is it gonna work? No, it's... Hold on. Now there's just no doors.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Sure. You're calling the shots here. Do we just have to try random doors? I thought that was a mirror for half a second.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
What if I just restarted the game? Just
Now
took
this-
full control.
Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't.
No, I
quite
feel like that would be a
recall whether
waste. We gotta
believe
see the
my
story, right?
took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
Let's go, dude.
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no.
No, you can't take this from me.
Right about
I
this
won.
at
No
all.
take backsies.
We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations.
Listen, it's not like I twisted your arm or anything.
I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
This game is actually very hilarious.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line.
Classic.
Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Well, shit, do we follow the line? What if it's not broken this time?
No, I'm
No,
down. We're
it's
leaving
broken.
it up to the line from now on.
Okay. As you wish. The all-knowing line.
See?
This is
The line knows where the story
perfect
is.
example of
It's
not
over
my
in
job
this
right now.
Direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way,
Don't
is
even move the
story of
boxes.
no destination still a story?
Here's a better example.
Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of
Okay,
thought
now
for a
he's
minute.
just yapping.
Stick with me.
For the sake of
Now, we
yapping.
can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office...
How did that loop around?
Is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to...
Whoever's making this line is
Sure where I
clearly
was going
on the
with all
sauce.
that.
Like, look at this.
You know what? I think what we need right now is a
Okay.
bit of music to lighten the mood.
This better be copyright free. What the fuck, dude? I fuck with it though. Dun 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 dun. Monthly ledgers, corporate imbalances, financial records. Right, the music's getting...
Got the music.
Thank
Go
you.
back and look at that fern.
What?
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
We have to memorize the leaf pattern on this fern carefully. Study it. Be one with the fern. Wish we could jump. Okay, that's enough of the fern.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Still no doors. This door's never been opened before. Uncharted territory now. Ah.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything
Who's
we've
a
been
pirate?
through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
We have a pirate working for the company? How come we get an office and everybody else gets cubicles?
You know what, Stanley?
Oh my God.
I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Okay.
Now, yes, this is exciting.
Feel like
Just
the
me and
narrator has
Stanley
lost it
forging
more than
a
I
new
have.
path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination.
Oh God, we're stuck.
Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
You might be ready for it, but I sure as hell.
No, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Don't look at it. Don't acknowledge it. Don't look at it. It'll go away. See?
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that
I'm not gonna do that.
door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Are you sure this is our destiny?
Oh, hold up,
The
what's this?
confusion
Oh.
ending.
The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending?
Simply blank space, wonder the
And we're
blackness.
supposed to restart the game what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget?
Find the confusing ending
Well, what if
schedule.
I don't want to forget? My mind
Fifth
goes
restart.
blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me?
Find a
Why
book,
don't
get
I
bored,
get
and
to
leave.
decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really?
Just go ahead and restart the
It
game. Put the
can't be.
fries in the bag, bro.
I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay.
Well, now what do we do? You broke it.
I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree?
It's a fake door.
Not quite
I can't
sure
open it.
if we're in the destination or the journey.
That one's at
Though
least
they're
locked.
always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Oh my god. Did he forget?
All of his co-workers were gone.
He did.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Yes.
Skipping right
this
past the
room.
employee lounge.
What a beautiful room.
Actually.
What a gorgeous. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
There's the line. Penalty for misuse of cargo lift, $1,000. Penalty for jumping off the lift, $5,000.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing in your... But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
I couldn't help myself. I had to try.
All of his co-workers were gone.
I didn't realize that was far enough to
Stanley
kill
decided
you.
to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I gotta be honest, I didn't know you could die in this game. Okay, so don't jump off the lift.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've
And
gotten
we can't
off on
jump,
the wrong
so-
foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
Like, we can't actually
I
jump, so we
realize
kind of have
that
to
investing your
ride the
trust
lift.
in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone
Actually, we could
you've
probably
been
land.
neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've
Nah, let's stay on the
forgotten
lift.
about.
Let's stay on the lift.
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Wait, who?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
What are we talking about? Oh my god.
That's her, Stanley. You need to...
Mama? Mom, is that you? Hello?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Okay.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Guy's a total asshole.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
This is a very different story. I'm pressing every button except for the one that tells me to.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do.
I mean, eventually,
Now
yeah.
he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
What do we... spend some time with the boys?
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he
Is
could
this all
go
in my head
through
and we're in
either.
like a psych ward?
At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
We're going to play this out, obviously.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths
Can't get out of the
and
room.
destinations. Down one
We're
path
locked in
went
here.
an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Now I'm conflicted because he told us not to do it. How long do you think we have to wait? I'm going to stand here, fast forward the video. Okay, I can't wait anymore. We got to push a button.
See? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every
We were standing here
second
for
he
like
remains
10 minutes.
here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again.
Please die.
And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Well, that was a wild ending.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Did it reset
Stanley
again?
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley
Yeah, I
came
think
to
it
a set
reset
of
again.
2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley decided to go
Keep
up
going?
to his boss's office.
Oh,
Coming
actually, you know
to a
what? Let's go down.
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I'm not going up nowhere. Totally forgot we could just go down here and leave.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that.
Yeah, we get
And
written
in
up
such a
for sure.
competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished?
Now we're in a
His
loop.
boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
Oh, shit.
All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense.
Is this
And
our
as
car? Can
Stanley
we just get in
pondered
it?
this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did
Yeah, that is
doors
strange.
close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream.
It was all
What a
dream.
relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't.
So how do we
going
get
to
out of
lose
this?
his
We
job.
just-
He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back.
gonna
to
say,
my
do we just turn
boring
around and
real-life
walk backwards?
job
But
pushing buttons. I may as
doors are
well
all
enjoy
closed.
this while I'm still lucid. So he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Oh my god, we're
Then
actually
he
flying.
imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid?
Oh, we're
And
back.
then perhaps
Back
the
to reality.
strangest
Okay.
question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all
Mind
odd
blown.
and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that of
Gotta be
course
something I'm missing.
this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin.
I don't like this one.
The press of the mattress on his back. The fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Nope, still in the dream.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I?
Who am I?
And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Okay, we're going to leave this episode here. There's a lot we can do with this. Definitely going to play it again and try and get a couple of more endings. Also, we still have yet to find the mysterious bucket. So, we have that to look forward to. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more content like this. If you have any suggestions for me to try, ending-wise, just let me know in the comments. What should I do? Should I go left? Should I go right? Should I go back? Should I jump off the lift this time? What if we just stayed in the starting room for like 20 minutes? What would happen? I'm intrigued. I want to know. I definitely want to continue this, so stay tuned. Until next time, take care, so long. Don't do anything stupid while I'm gone.